Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 170. It is Monday today. Warm, a little gray and cloudy here in Cincinnati, but 60 degrees. It's so good. It feels so good. So here we are. It is Monday after a new moon in Aries, which I talked about last week, and the beginning of a new astrological year. And I have a lot to share, and I'm trying to feel into what's the right or best way to move through it. So, Aries is typically the sign of fire, and the feeling I had on Friday when I recorded the new moon meditation, and then what continued throughout the weekend, and then yesterday in our Sunday meditation, the feeling was actually connected more to water and to flowing and energy moving, but in a gentle, emotional, fluid way. And so as I arrive in this space, the word that came forward was flowing, which I'm sure I've used before and which I'm sure I'll use again, and which seems to have nothing to do with Aries. And what feels so true is when we look at like New Year's in the calendar year, we have all this hype as we move towards the end of one year and the beginning of the next year, and a big celebration and lots of resolutions and promises and all these intentions. And then once the new year starts and you move into the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th of January, you just start flowing with the new year, and you're not thinking as much about how you're not in the old year. You're just in the energy of the new year. And that's what it feels like today. We had this really important shift in energy, whether you felt it or not, or were aware of it or not, it happened. It was a very dramatic shift in energy Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And now we arrive in this flowing movement, momentum into what is ahead in the next astrological year or cycle. The circle of the zodiac. It starts with Aries, and perhaps that's because of the fire, the passion of beginnings, and we need that jump start of fire. But what feels so important to me today is to focus on this idea of flowing with whatever is showing up. Let me think how to say this. When I was tuning into the new moon meditation on Friday, the first thing that came forward was this feeling of heaviness, sludging through the mud. How so many people at this time are trying to get it together, trying to make ends meet, trying to move through whatever the resistance is that they're feeling. And that heaviness and effort, it's exhausting to the body, it's exhausting to the soul, it wears the mind out. And what we moved through in that meditation, which you can still access if you feel you want that assistance, is stepping out of the mud and into a really beautiful clean shower, and then rinsing off that heaviness so that we can be very intentional about the energy that we are flowing into next. Feel how, when you're outside working in the yard and you get dirty and sweaty and you come inside and you want to rinse off, that shower feels so good. It feels so good. It feels even better because you know what you've just been through, and so you're clearing off all of those layers. That's the feeling of this past weekend. It's the opportunity, if you are paying attention and you're tuning into it, this opportunity to shed the weight, to shed the resistance, to let go of the crap that no longer serves, and to rinse it off with emotion, with movement, with this idea of flowing, which sometimes means you have to let all that crap be felt and move through you. You have to actually sit in some of that mud for a little bit to be aware that you're in the mud, to then realize you have the choice to step out of the mud. You have the choice to step into a shower. You can stay muddy all the time if it feels good, or you can rinse off. When you choose to rinse off the old ways, which are limited beliefs and blocks and depression and overwhelm and, so many of these things that we feel are real. When you're in the mud outside working in the yard, it's real. It's totally real. You are in the mud. And yet when you step into the shower, you change that reality. You rinse off the mud and you step out of the shower and you're in a different reality, one where you're clean, where you can sit on the couch and not leave a big trail of mud, where you feel lighter, you feel like you smell better. You just are in a different reality. Neither one of them are not real, or neither one of them are bad. They're just different experiences. Being in the mud sometimes is a lot of fun, and digging and making a mess and then putting things together and having them look different, and watching beautiful plants grow out of big muddy spaces. Like, it's very satisfying. And also sometimes we don't want to always be in the mud. Sometimes we don't always want to be clean. It's okay to move between them. What is possible in this new vibration that is available to all of us, this new energy, this new field of consciousness, is you can choose to let go of the things that feel heavy about the mud. You can choose to let go of the ways it limits you and holds you back. And when you step into that shower, be intentional about what it is you're rinsing off, what it is you're letting go of. So that when you step out of the shower, the possibilities are fresh, hopeful, exciting. You have more energy, more bounce in your step, more optimism. That is where that creative energy then really starts to move you forward and step you into new, what we talked about on Sunday, new frequencies. Sunday's meditation is amazing. It was amazing. It is amazing because it literally guides you through how to tune into a new vibration, a new possibility that currently exists. It's not something out there that you're hoping for. It exists. It is a real vibration you tune into right here, right now. And then when you're in that frequency of having it now, the next steps are very clear. The phrases, the mantras, the ways to change your thinking, the movement that your body needs, the inspiration that your soul's looking for, all of those things that seem so unreal or in another reality or hopeless when you're in the mud. When you step into this new frequency, it's all right here. It's not separate from you anymore. And then it's simply practicing being in the new frequency. It's like when you step out of the shower, you're practicing, it's not even you're practicing, you are clean, you are fresh, you do feel rinsed off. You don't feel muddy anymore. It's not like you're trying to find some place where you are clean. You are clean. You are in this new vibration. It's the same energetically. There was this old vibrational field last week, last astrological year, and we are now in this new frequency, in this new energetic possibility. And the only shift to make is that you choose to believe that it's possible, rinse off the old ways and start practicing, not even start practicing, that's just the wrong word. Start being this new vibration. So how do you do that? If all of this is sounding like mumbo jumbo to you, that's okay. Maybe you're not ready to shift vibration, and that's totally fine. If there's a spark of hope and you're like, I don't even know, what does that mean? I don't understand. Tune into one of those meditations. They're $11. Like, consider it an $11 shower. Tune into the vibration that is already being transmitted, that has already been dropped into the energy field of Earth right here in this moment. It's fully available to you. Yeah, you have to exchange for it. That's how it works. In order to receive, you give, you exchange energy. That's one of the greatest shifts so many of us are making. We are worthy of receiving everything that we desire, and so we hold our value for that. We don't just give it away all the time to everybody. We hold our value, and we know what we are offering is magnificent, and then others want to exchange in that way. It's a really powerful shift that is happening, and it's a choice to choose to step into that shift. And as much as I feel it and know the reality of it and am loving the reality of it and am trying to transmit that reality of it, it's not up to me to receive it. It's up to you to receive it. It's up to you to tune into that. It's up to you to step out of the mud and into the shower and into a new reality. It's not my work to do. It's your work to do. I've done that work, and I love how I feel. And so the only offering I can share with you, and that's not the right word, the only responsibility I feel is to share the vibration, to be it and emanate it, and then allow you to have whatever your response is to that. So if it leaves you feeling confused, okay, sit with the confusion until you get clarity. If it leaves you feeling inspired, then do whatever you're inspired to do from this space. For me, the word flowing, it's like a deeper surrender into knowing that everything is so divinely timed and trusting that timing more than I ever have before. And I have gotten really, really good at trusting timing. Really good at it. And I realize there's another whole layer of it. And so that's what I'm flowing more and more into, is just trusting the timing so implicitly and being able to feel more intuitively what is the right next step. Which choice do I make? Because I have all of these beautiful choices. Which choice do I make? And then that subtle choice is putting me into a different next step. And is that the one I most want to be in? I'll give you one example from today that may illuminate this for you or may not, but I'll share the vibration of it. So I had a call earlier this morning than I usually do calls, and then I wasn't sure if I wanted to do yoga or go for a run. So my husband called for a quick hello on his way between appointments, and I just simply asked him that. I'm like, I don't know, should I do a run or should I do yoga? I just don't know. And I had literally just stepped off the call, so my energy was still a little bit, in that space. And he's like, of course you want to go for a run. You go outside, you see the beautiful trees. Like, of course you want to go outside. I'm like, oh, of course. Yeah, totally I want to go outside. I'm going to go for a run. So I got myself ready and I started going down the driveway, and I could feel my legs are a little tight. I've been moving more and doing more stretching and movement over the last few days that I haven't been doing, and my muscles are feeling it. So I start going for my walk. It was much more walk than it was run. But there were periods of running in there. And so everything about my routine this morning, my schedule, was completely not what I usually follow. The routine was not the same. So by the time I was moving through my route, I came around this bend to go down this road that I normally go down. And there at the house on the left was this sweet little woman, all dressed in this beautiful outfit. It's probably 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, and she just looked so pretty in her 80s, blowing leaves with this huge blower. She's this tiny little thing with this huge blower. So I waved at her with my headphones on as I'm jog walking, and she waved back, and then I could see she was turning the blower off, and I thought, well, okay, we're gonna go say hello. I don't know her, but I know her house. I've been by her house many times over many years. So I go over and she says, hi, what's your name? And so I told her, and I said, what's your name? And she told me, and I said, if I remember right, you and your husband just celebrated 60 years. I said, I saw the banner last summer, and I'm just starting to run again. I haven't been out in a while. And she says, yes. And she started getting a little teary-eyed, and she said, he passed away in December. And I could just feel my heart like, oh, this sweet little man. We would pass each other 3-4 times a week and wave and say hello, and he was always encouraging me. He'd be like, you keep going, you got this. He was just the sweetest thing, just doing his little route, but we would always kind of be at different moments in our route. And so, because he went early in the mornings for his walk, and so I just stood with her and I said, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I knew your husband, not by name, but I saw him all the time, and he was just the kindest, sweetest person. And she said, yes, I know. And I said, may I share with you a story that, a moment that I experienced with your husband? And she said, please. I said, when I saw your banner for your wedding anniversary, I saw him that same day because I was completing my run. And I said, I saw him, and I stopped and I asked him, can I ask you for advice? Like, how do you get to 60 years of marriage? Like, that's so amazing. And he said to me, and I remember this, and this is what I shared with his wife today. He said to me, you lean in 90%. You go 90% of the way and only expect them to meet you the other 10%. Oh, it was so powerful when he said it to me, and to be able to say it back to her today just like flooded my heart with so much love. It was just this beautiful moment, and she was tearing up, and we just stood there for a little while and talked, and she shared some stories, and we were just present together. And it was this incredible, beautiful moment of just showing up and flowing with my day and not knowing that this beautiful moment was waiting for me. And then being able to offer her this steady love and hope that, her husband is still around and still showing up in these sweet ways to be present with her. And it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And that's the frequency that I'm describing. It's just such a tiny little example, but it just illustrates when we are present and open-hearted and showing up and surrendering again and again, knowing there is always some beautiful big plan unfolding that is leading us into greater and greater love, more moments of connection and harmony and presence than we even know is possible at this time. That's the frequency, the vibration that offers us these abundant choices, and then we just keep tuning back into that frequency, and it just keeps guiding us forward along that path. That's what this astrological new year is going to be offering and creating, and it's simply the choice to tune into that and align with it over and over again that's going to take us into these incredible adventures, incredible moments. So it's damn good. It's really good. And yeah, that's the vibration I offer you on this amazing Monday. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.